all that matters is today. Stay present, man. 3.5 hours, do this together, man. It starts with us, it ends with us. Gang on me, gang on 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah!
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
That's what we're gonna be about is winning. I know that might pass by a few people. We stuck on the just win, baby, but you don't know what it takes to win, and we gonna figure it out eventually. But I think this regime got it. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna have to y'all content creators gonna have to step y'all intro game up because this intro is gonna grow on the fans. I'm telling you, especially during football season, it's gonna get you juice. Like you gonna be in game mode, like how I'm thinking when I was making that. Like when I'm riding to the stadium, I'm on my way, and I'm just having flashes of pictures on my mind, and I'm trying to take it there. When the game time, this gonna grow on y'all. So all these creators with these intros that's 3 and 4 years ago, y'all gonna have to make new ones. But now I know I was gonna do a show last night. I was gonna do this show last night, but I was with the good Raider, and we kind of got in this conversation about quarterback situation. And I don't know if people understand, but this name right here, it say black quarterback. So when it comes to the quarterback play, I'm looking at it through a certain lens. I'm not saying you gotta look through it through my lens. I'm not saying that I'm the authority. I'm not saying I've been an NFL quarterback. I just know I played quarterback at a semi-high level, maybe semi-higher than a few of you. And if somebody come in that played more than me and done the education and did the work, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna have questions so I can soak game. I might even throw what I think I know out there to see how consistent it is with his line of thinking, so I know if I'm on the right track or the wrong track. That's what I would do, but that's just me. Instead of getting all upset in my feelings and talking about whatever, But we did this show last night because I have to really address the "you love Kirk Cousins" thing because they were saying the same thing about me about Geno Smith last year. So I like to address things in the beginning. So when I shut up about them, and then when I finally say something again after everybody keeps saying something about it, and I say, "Hey, look, I already addressed that back there. If you want to know how I feel about it, it's back there." But I'll give it to you one more time. And if they keep want to push me, then I gotta be aggressive. And then now I'm the bad guy. That's why I'm now affectionately known as the Raider bad guy. I'm the Raider bad guy. But I'm not the Raider bad guy today. They black the quarterback. Wrong read. So we're gonna talk about this Doug Pederson thing, man. I'm gonna help some people with this Doug Pederson thing, and there's so much stuff about this quarterback situation that I have to do it in little pieces because I really didn't necessarily have to do this show, but I had already scheduled it. I put my time into it, whatever. So I'm just gonna give pieces of it. And plus, I want to see how's y'all Friday. It's early for me. I'm not in my mode yet, but I'm still black, the quarterback here, reporting for duty. I'm telling you, it might be a lot of better content creators out there. It ain't gonna be one that work harder than me. You might got more talent than me. You might got more fans. You might be more likable. You might be a OG in the game. You might be a pioneer in this. You might be the greatest one of them all. Still gonna outwork you. I'm one man by myself. No. You ready to go night night? You ready to go night night? Wardell 30. Y'all just seeing me doing this Raider content. I really do all sports. So imagine if the whole sports nation was acting like how y'all was acting. But I had to come get in the trenches in the Raider hood because I was watching y'all from afar, and I'm like, once the Raiders left Oakland, I was just up on the hill just watching, like I already know what was going to unfold with the Raiders. Because I was just like, oh, so we on shenanigans now. So we leave Oakland, go to Vegas. All right, okay, I get it. It's a good business decision. Speaking of business decisions, go and hit that subscribe button. Matter of fact, forget that. Hit the like button. Don't subscribe until you know you like this kind of authentic raw content. Don't subscribe until you know that. But at least like it or thumb down it. And so I'm just looking at the Raiders and I'm like, I give them 8 years before they crash and burn out because they'll be in Mexico. They'll be the NFL's first team in out of the country. They'll be in Mexico. It'll be fitting for them. Stadium ain't even theirs. That's why I call it Airbnb and stadium because anybody can rent that. So I was just like, all right, but let's see what happens. But now they starting to make competent moves, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's get on track. And now we on track. So now we got us a franchise quarterback finally. And now I'm trying to figure out why are we trying to sabotage this quarterback? I'm not saying all of us, but there's some section of fans out there. I think they really want to see Mendoza fail, so that way they'll be right about getting him number one. But they didn't really like him to begin with. So you gotta look at people how they initially start when they see something or when they start addressing something. And that's not to say people can't grow, because with more information you might change your mind, but it's how they act when they change their mind. Because you gotta see if they just saying that to gain advantage over you, or they playing a game or setting a trap, or just simply just going with they being blown in the wind. And so I see a lot of fans that's real inconsistent, and I'm like, why y'all? Okay, fine. Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. Why aren't you guys not being objective with Kirk Cousins? Because you wanted this to be a fair quarterback battle. Because first it started with Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell didn't get the right opportunity. But now that people starting to realize Aiden is not going to rise to the top, now they just jumping on the Fernando bandwagon. This is some crazy stuff that's going on in Raider in the fandom. I don't know if it's just on YouTube or what, but it was weird to me. That's why I'm in the trenches. So y'all might not like this content, so don't subscribe unless you like this kind of content, because it's funny to watch me get 4 subs and then lose 2, and then I lose 1 and then gain 4. Like, I feel like Geno Smith. So I need to get a little more consistent, more like Kirk Cousins gonna be, which I believe is gonna be. Don't love Kirk Cousins, y'all just hate Kirk Cousins. But let's just assume Black is doing too much and he thinking he know everything. He's the smartest guy in the room. He got his Chip Kelly on. Let's assume that I'm just tripping with that. Let's just assume that I'm tripping with that. Let's take Kirk Cousins off the table. I'm gonna keep saying this until, because people like to use that argument against me. You love Kirk Cousins. No. I just love quarterback play. I love competent quarterback play. But let's take Kirk Cousins off. Let's look at Fernando Mendoza. This guy right here, Doug Pederson. This guy right here, Doug Pederson, said some things about what he would do with Fernando Mendoza. His advice to Clint Kubiak, which I think Clint Kubiak is smarter than this guy and will have a better career than this guy. And he said that, I'll show you what he said. But look who's in the middle. That's Carson Wentz. Just remember that. Remember that image that's in the center line here. Remember that. Just remember that. That's the quarterback he was responsible for. So watch what old buddy had to say about Mr. Mendoza.
Let's get this guy out there week 1. Let's start having our growing pains week 1. Let's not prolong it into October, November, or later in the season when maybe the season's over. I think it's very beneficial. I remember having a conversation with Coach McDermott when he drafted Josh Allen, and he called me and he says, Doug, what do you think? Well, how did you handle Carson Wentz? And I said, if you think that Josh Allen is your guy, you need to get him out there week 1, and he did that. There were a lot of growing pains in that first year, and they weathered that storm, and now look where Buffalo is. Kirk Cousins is a solid number 2 that you can rely on, and I think he's a great mentor for Fernando. So I think this is a win-win, I think, at quarterback, for the Raiders.
Cousins number 2, right? And number 2 on this team to who? Fernando. That's what he's assuming, right? A quarterback who haven't played in this league. I don't know. I don't know where he get that from. The only reason why he was a number 2 in Atlanta because they was playing quarterback games. I was telling y'all about the quarterback games. And that's why he ended up having more wins than Penix, and Penix got hurt again, and now Penix is fighting for a job against Tua. So now he's supposed to come in, it'd be his job, but he can't win the job because for one, you can't win the job if you keep getting injured. We can't even talk about your play yet. We can't even talk about how you resonate with the team and how you matriculate the offense or how you manipulate the defense and how you play on offense. We can't get to that point. So now you gotta go. You probably gonna sit behind Tua because Tua concussion protocol. Tua gonna last longer than you. This is crazy. This is wild. So y'all want to listen to this guy? Let's talk about this guy, Doug Pederson. Let's talk about his history. Yeah, let me go get the information. You know, let me get the information. What's my man's name? Peterson. Here it is. Yeah. Let's look at Buddy coaching career. Well, let's start off by saying he was a player. He spent 12 seasons in the NFL as a quarterback, primarily as a trusted backup to Hall of Famer Brett Favre, as well as playing for the Dolphins, Eagles, and Browns. Okay. All right. Backup. So that means you had some skills, but not enough to be a starter. Well, granted, you was behind Brett Favre, but now I don't know how far that was in your career. But sitting behind Brett Favre should have gave you some skills, but maybe that was the skills that kept you in the league as long as you were. But whatever, we didn't know that. Now let's see where he came from. Andy Reid tree. See, this is important though. What tree you come from? He was in the Andy Reid tree. He was the offensive coordinator um, for the Chiefs for a couple years, and he went to the Eagles. Andy Reid tree. See correlation? Andy Reid Eagles. So Andy Reid Jr. Went to Philly, and in 2017 he lost Carson Wentz to an injury, and then Nick Foles came in and won the Super Bowl. That's what make this guy important. This is 'cause I'm not dismissing what Coach did or whatever. Because if we do remember the Philly special, y'all remember that he was a genius coach when, great play calling and all that. Yeah, that's what make good play callers, calling plays that the defense don't have a clue. So good that even the cameraman don't even have a clue. If you can pull it out like that, then that's good. But after that, a couple years went by, you end up going to Jacksonville as a head coach after taking a year off from football. He turned that franchise around. They went to the playoffs, but then the next year they didn't. Guess who was quarterback? Who he had then? Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence, one of my favorite quarterbacks in this league, if not my favorite. But he's one of them for sure. He couldn't. He couldn't. He couldn't mature him. They fired him. The Eagles ended up firing him too. And Nick Foles not came in and won the Super Bowl, the GM, you should be thanking the GM because the GM went and got Nick Foles in like week 14 or something like that. And he went on a run and he just caught lightning in a bottle and went crazy. So that's what makes you who you are. So who are the quarterbacks that's tied to you, buddy? Carson Wentz, who's a struggling backup right now because he never really got it back together because you put him in early and he got injured, played good, got injured, play good, got injured, roller coaster. And that's why I'm trying to tell y'all, that's why you don't want to do that with Mendoza. You don't want to do that with Mendoza. Sure, it takes a lot of mental fortitude to be able to go through that, and he probably got it. But do you physically want to have your person go through that all the time when you ain't got to? I don't want him to go through all that. So you were tied to Carson Wentz, who never panned out to be who he was. I'm talking about major quarterbacks. You were tied to Trevor Lawrence, and they fired you because you lost the team and whatever. I don't want to even go that far. All I'm saying is you had these two good quarterbacks that could have been great, and you weren't tied to neither one of them are tied to you. You're tied to Nick Foles, a quarterback that came in week 14. That's the GM, brother. But not to say you didn't do your thing with him. But it was a culmination of things. It wasn't you. So I'm not taking your advice, bro, when it comes to quarterbacks. That's what it boils down to. Let me see who up in here. Webb, what's good with you, brethren? Furpo, Willie Wang. Willie Wang, what's up with the brethren? Happy Friday, brothers. So, let me talk about your boy. I don't think I even need to like go any further into what he was doing because really I'm not understanding why he's so important. So he says that a lot of people are in the mindset of letting him start early. Last night, hold on. Last night I keep checking myself about the stuff that I be saying and the stuff that I hear. And I found out some other funny, crazy stuff that just is amazing. Hold on. Gotcha. How's y'all Friday? What y'all got planned Friday for Friday night? I might do a late show. Okay. Yeah. Check this out, y'all. This is even more reason why I say we should not play. Like it ain't even gotta be. This is why I say. This is why I say it's smarter to sit Mendoza as long as you can than to stick him out there. This is, I guess, the answer to why don't we? He's the number one pick. Why don't we put him out there if he's not ready? I mean, if he's ready or whatever. And ready is subjective to the coach, and if the coach don't think so, and even he said so, then I don't know why y'all trying to make him ready. But whatever. Let's assume because y'all don't listen to what they say. I don't listen to what I say either, but it's fine. I'm in that group over there with people that actually know. They said out of the 15 unique quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl, the six who did not start and learn, meaning they became their primary starter almost immediately during their rookie season, are Sam Donald, Matt Stafford, Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco, Peyton Manning, Dan Roethlisberger. Those are the guys who I wanted to know. All because it was like most of the quarterbacks that win Super Bowls are quarterbacks that sat. Six of them did not sit. Most of them sat. And the ones that did not sit were Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Joe Flacco, Russell Wilson, Stafford, and Darnold. Darnold definitely ended up in the right situation, and he kind of flew under the radar. So he's almost like an outlier in this situation, but he's in this group though. I really like that because look at Peyton Manning, Joe Flacco, Russell Wilson. Those are a long time ago. Football is even a little bit different now, but out of out of the last of the last 15 unique quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl, 9 of them spent significant portions of their rookie seasons or longer sitting and learning on the bench. These 9: Aaron Rodgers, 3 seasons; Tom Brady, 8 seasons; Brad Johnson, 2 seasons; Drew Brees, 1 season; Patrick Mahomes, 1 season. People forget Mahomes had a year. He came in the last game of the season. The Chiefs already had the Chiefs had already clinched, and so they sat Alex Smith. And Mahomes played last game of the season. I like to see something like that. I like to see something like that. Jalen Hurts sat, Eli Manning, Foles, and Dilfer. So more quarterbacks actually sat than that did not sit. That just make more sense. Just that. I mean, like, hold on though. That ain't the thing though. That got my head swimming though. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's go. Where is it? What time is it where y'all at? Lunchtime? I feel like it's almost lunchtime. All right. Here we go. I'm like, bro. All right. So I think it was the last, let me see. Okay, here we go. These is quarterbacks that was number one picks. These is quarterbacks from number one picks since 2018. These quarterbacks were the number one pick since 2018. Six of them has been selected as number one overall pick in their career starters. Because my question I'm asking myself is, which number one quarter? What's the records of the quarterbacks since 2018 that started? Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray. He went 5-10-1. Joe Burrow went 2-7-1. Trevor Lawrence went 3-14. Bryce Young went 2-14. And Caleb Williams went 5-12. Y'all know what that y'all know it, I got a new number because remember it was 25, 82, and 2. I think that's what the number was. 25, 82, and 2 or something like that. I have a new one now. It's 17, 47, and 2. 17, 47, and 2. 17, 47, and 2. 25, 82, and 2 in the last 10 years. In the last 10 years, 25, 82, and 2. Since 2018, since people like to massage the number. See, I took statistics in class, and a lot of y'all are smarter than me, and I know y'all got college degrees, so you have to take some statistics. So now it's 17, 47, and 2 since 2018. Hey, you know what percentage that is? 27%. 27%. What's that? What's the average? What's the average in that out of them quarterbacks? 3.5? Actually, what? 3.4? So you're telling me, this is what y'all telling me, not that Black is telling y'all to think nothing. Y'all telling me that we should take our franchise quarterback, who we rarely ever in the position to get one. We hardly we're almost never in the position to get one. We get one whether I like him or not. You're telling me that even though we have Kirk Cousins on the roster and Aiden O'Connell on the roster, I'm gonna concede AOC that I should put him out there to win 3.4 games. Let's just say 3 games because it's closer to 3 than it is to 4. So you're telling me I should put, let's just say 4. Forget it. Let's say 4 because Mendoza is Himothy. He's Himothy. So he gets 4. You're telling me I should take this quarterback and put him out there for 4 wins. Because he's the number one pick. That's the only reason why y'all use that. Because he's the number one pick. He should be good enough to do this and do that and do that. Okay, cool. Well, in the league, these quarterbacks, Joe Burrow included, this is the numbers. These are the analytics. Y'all like to look at analytics and stats and all that. But when it comes to the certain things, I just think he should because he's number one. Like, hold up, wait a minute. So we should put Fernando Mendoza out there for 4 wins. Which brings me back to when I started this off season trying to shake the nation up because everybody was scared about 4 wins. I think we're gonna win 4 wins. I'm like, how? Are y'all crazy? 4 wins? Y'all tripping, man. Bro. We was better than the 4 wins last year. We just was incompetent from the top down. But now that we got our head right, we gonna naturally by default win 4 games. Ruby, I could probably jump out the Death Star if he only win 4 games. He'd jump off of it. So y'all telling me that we should throw him out there for 4 wins. Oh, y'all think he can win 6 games. So you telling me he's twice as better than everybody on this list, statistically on average. So matter of fact, he'll be better than the 5 wins that Kyler Murray and Caleb Williams. So he'll be the new standard. So 6 wins. 6 wins. That's me being very generous with the argument. Because that's almost delusional to expect that. Now you gotta be delusional to do it. I'm not saying it's not possible. Anything is possible. Not anything, but come on, what's the likelihood? So if the franchise is telling you we're gonna bring them along slowly because we got people that do this stuff that I'm reading to y'all, and they come back and telling them that, and they're like, yeah, well, we might want to go a different approach about that. Then let's support the different approach. That's why I'm talking about Kirk Cousins because I've been told people from the gate, Kirk Cousins is starting. This is not no real quarterback competition. When I heard it, I told y'all that because I know when the real competition is on the field and when it ain't. Now, do I always know? No, but I do know a lot of the times. I've been in situations I thought it was a real coaching competition, and it was never a competition. And I didn't peep game until I was way after the playing years. It's not, man. Man, it's politics in that stuff, bro. Even more so in NFL because it's a business. And then I got family members that's been in NFL. So I mean, anyway, anyway, 17, 47, 22. Hey, 17, 47. So y'all telling me he gonna come in and win 6 games, but the total number is 17. That's like he gonna win the third amount of the number by himself in 1 year. These are the same people. This is why I say what I said over here. This is the same people that didn't think he was around. He was the number one draft pick. So these people thought he was mid. They thought he was too old. They thought he was an system quarterback. They thought it was Signetti. It's the same people that's gonna say he gonna win 6 wins. That's why I think it'd be a sabotage. Because you don't really feel that. You can't feel that. Because I objectively looked at him and can't make that logical leap. And I know you can't because you don't even like the guy. Because you already made that clear. So even if you did get new information, you're not just gonna go from here to here logically without going through something. You can jump from here to there, but not from here to there. You gotta at least warm up to it and jump. We ain't even made it through training camp yet, and you already done made that jump. That's why I know it ain't authentic. We ain't even seen him throw a pass with the pads on. I'm waiting to the joint practices. That's No, the joint practices. What y'all think they're gonna be hitting at the joint practices? They don't hit like that in the joint practices. It's thud. You know what thud is? Since y'all know so much, look, I don't know. I know what thud is. I don't know what they might call it now, but they probably still call it thud because that's the noise you make when you hit the person. You run up on them, thud them, and you thud them. You just make a thudding noise. But you ain't trying to kill the person you made the play. But you're not trying to get nobody hurt. Nobody's going to try you. You are more likely to hurt your own teammate in practice going live than you would in a joint practice. That's just the reality of it. But a lot of people don't know that. But now they don't even know this part. But get mad at Black when I'm just trying to share the game. But the thing about joint practices, the benefit of joint practices is there's no cameras and nothing, so you can really show your real scheme and your real offense. As limited as you show that other team, because they're showing you some of theirs too. So there's going to be no film, so no other teams can get it. So you can actually work on your real offense. That's the purpose of joint practices, because in the preseason, you're not going to do that at all. Preseason games ain't for to solidify in competitions. You can use that as a piece of a metric, but you're not sitting up there saying the best player is gonna, whoever played best in the preseason is gonna start. They're gonna tell us that, but that's not what it really is. It's a piece of that. The best lies is 2-part truth, 1-part lie. It's still a what? A lie. It's called coach speak, man. But I'm like, okay, cool. So there is a benefit of joint practice. Matter of fact, more benefit than it is in a preseason game. So I was like, this is not no quarterback competition. We already gonna know who our quarterback is by the second one. And if y'all think that each quarterback is gonna play each the same amount of quarters or near the same amount of quarters evenly, and by the third preseason game, we're gonna name our starter and then try to implement an offense with that new quarterback. Uh, Talking about dial it up. Um, between the last preseason game and the first week, you crazy. You don't understand what's going on. And I'm trying to give what I know. Let me look at these comments, though. We the people in the building. I see you. What's up, Raiders? What's good? Let's see. For young players, especially a QB, let's go, Webb. You always got that game. For young players, especially a QB, the worst and most common injury is broken spirit. Ooh, that one can take a lifetime hit. See, this is, bro. Can I make some T-shirts, bro, with those quotes you be saying, bro? That's my whole point. That's why I said earlier, you can be smart and you can have intestinal fortitude to the level Mendoza appears to have. Because if you, right, so if you go to Cal and you go to business school and you crush that in 3 years and all that, you got intestinal fortitude, and we can just tell like what you're going through with your mom and all that, bro. I mean, all that ain't fake, man. But if you think you've done all this work and you so prepared, and then you see something you've never seen before, yeah, it might not crush your spirit, but it's gonna dampen. You're gonna be like, "Oh my God, that's a different animal. I didn't know it was like that." And then that's when the grit turn in. Be like, "All right, we gotta put in work this off season. I gotta get back healthy." Boom, boom, boom. Same thing what Joe Burrow did when he got hurt, as he was him, and yeah, he came back, had a great year. But he's still fighting injury because the league is on your head now. I told you, the best thing to do as a quarterback is when you come in the league, be ahead of the league a little bit. The league be right here that first year. So the second year, once they had that first offseason and watch all that tape on you in every situation, and even you walking into Chick-fil-A, and how you walk and which hand you grab the door with, and once they understand what color hats you like to wear and what kind of cigars you smoke and all that, once they figure all that out, then the league get closer on you. But your job during the offseason is keep your separation so you don't hit that sophomore slump. And the slump ain't even gotta be like this. It's just league catch up with you. So all them little great things you was doing is interceptions now. Or you looking for a certain player is there no more and you get strip sacked. Or you get injured. So now the league is on your head. Now let the league get a little bit ahead of you. Now you got to sit here and play leapfrog all year long because they got you and you got them, and then you got to try to separate yourself. But that's hard to do that versus the league don't know where you at. They don't know your learning curve is incrementally going up because you're not playing. They don't know how to gauge you. They don't know where you at. And then instead of hitting the league here, you hit the league here. So now the gap is this way. So if the league do catch up to you significantly, you still got like enough. You got enough know how to pick it up a gear or two. And then now you're playing like this instead of doing that. So that's the confidence thing because of when you're ahead of the curve, your confidence is higher because you like, all right, they throwing this at me, it's cool. I'm gonna get in my playbook, boop, boop, boop. I'm gonna watch film on myself. Da, 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 da. I'm gonna take criticism. Da, da, da. I'm here to learn. I'm doing my 111. Do, 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 do. Dang man, we lost two in a row, but that's okay. I watched Kirk. I watched Kirk go through this last year, and he kept his same attitude. He didn't come in here with a little attitude towards nobody. He didn't shut down. He didn't stop talking shit in practice. He kept being the same person that he was. I don't talk like that in practice, but that told me I need to just stay the same person all the time. Be consistent. Boom, I'll do that. All right, come on, boom, win the game. Okay, all right, cool. Now I'm not to have that trap game. We remember they had that trap game with Kirk, and they came back and won the game the following week. But then the next week it was a team we were supposed to beat, and we lost to them. Why do the Raiders always do that? But then when Kirk won that game that we were supposed to win, or if Kirk lost that game and he told me, look, this is what be happening. This is how you should approach that. That's how I'm gonna approach it this year. But you ain't getting all that if you just throw the boy out there and letting him figure that out. And by year 3 or year 4, he figure it out. Man, I'm giving y'all too much of this good content, man. I want y'all hit that like button for your boy because I'm dropping it on everything for real. That's what it is. But I don't be trying to. People be want to try to argue and think they know how I feel about it. And I'm like, I'm not even talking about how I feel about it. I'm trying to figure out how you got to what you feel about it. And how does that even make sense? When I can't question you about how you got there, I'm supposed to just listen to you? When I know some things just kind of don't line up? Because you might know a different way. It's more than one way to skin a cat. It's more than one way to shoot a gat. Jack Yates say, I still believe Fernando wins the job in training camp and is the best quarterback out of the team. But that's not what it's going to. I mean, I'm not telling you shouldn't believe that because I could be wrong. I could be very much wrong. I could be very much wrong. But I just know that history shows that even well, I keep thinking is what is it? Tyler, Tyler, whatever that played for Miami. Boy had a perfect training camp. He got a job. He had a perfect training camp. It doesn't equate to you being good in the regular season. It doesn't. Those preseason games is really for bubble players. It's for bubble players. It's not for like the main starters. Like it's not for the guys that's even competing against the starter. Like they kind of already know who's going to be starting, unless you really just amaze them, like change their mind. Now I could be wrong. Like I said, I could be wrong. Like it could be really up in the air. Well, I just don't think that we're as complicated as our offense is. We give Mendoza the playbook early because we got a lot of stuff going on. That's not a tip to say Mendoza's going to start. That's a tip to saying we have a lot of information to get in. And if Mendoza or whoever says, man, it's like drinking through a fire hose, like I just don't believe that we're going to try to solidify our quarterback after the third preseason game and then try to turn on the fire hose and then from that time to the first week game, which is 2 weeks, I believe, and we just gonna start doing that. I just don't think we're gonna do that. I just don't. I just don't think that. based on the amount of information that's needed and continuity. I think we're just gonna have when it comes to the quarterback, we're gonna know. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Motherfuckers be so sensitive. We supposed to have opinions. Yeah, and the thing about it is people be thinking that I don't know what they think. They think I'll be trying to demean their opinion. And I'm like, just because you found out your opinion is limited and is based on feelings, don't get mad at me. Just say you just like the guy and I'll shut up. Or I just hate the guy and I'll shut up. And I'll be like, you just hate you a hater. You don't like him. It's cool. A little strong for me, but okay. But you could be like, I don't like him. I just don't like him as a player. Then I'll be like, oh, I feel you on that. I can understand that. I get it. What is there to argue with that? But if you tell me this guy is elite and this guy ain't, and this guy better than this guy, and I'm like, wait a minute, how this guy better than this guy, and this guy don't even play? He don't even play, and when he play, he get hurt. How you gonna make me believe this guy is better than this guy, and this guy at least plays? We ain't even talk about numbers. This guy don't even play. But you want to tell me he's elite and he's better than him, and he should be starting over him. That don't make sense. How did you get there? If you say, man, I just don't like him over there, I'll be like, oh, okay. I feel you. I got it. You just don't like bruh. But don't try to tell me that bro over here is better than him. Don't do that. Because that's like you disrespecting me at this point because you think I'm stupid. Like you can tell me anything and I'm gonna go for it. It's like disrespectful. Especially if you know me to be a person that's going to not just I guess if you think I'm just stupid, that's what I'm saying. I'm not with that. Because I don't treat people like they stupid. You might feel stupid on your own, but I don't treat you like it. Low key, let's see. Low key, AJ popping this season, bro. About to be on that mode. Okay. So you think, yeah. I believe he's ready. He plays. That's how I look at it. Play. I believe he's ready. He plays. Yeah, but how do you think that how do you come to the conclusion that he's ready? How do you get there? How have you got there already? Not even seeing them in pass. How do you and I'm not saying that you don't see something because you might. How do you know that he's ready? Mentally? You mentally ready? You don't know if you mentally ready till you start getting hit by grown men paying other grown people bills. It's not college. See, in college, if you watch college, a great college football play is when you see two players hit one person at the same time. When you see two players do it in the NFL, that's typical. You that's typical. You getting hit by two people at the same time. Bigger men than the college boys that be hitting in college. It's the reason why you gotta sit so many years in college because they're different. So the number, remember, y'all, don't forget 17, 47, 2. That makes it even worse than a 25, 82, and 2. That makes it even worse. So I'm supposed to put the franchise quarterback out there when I know that that's what the typical result is. That's what I should do. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that. Oh yeah. What I say? This is not a quarterback competition. When he said the best man will play, that's coach speak. In the middle is the silent tape. Remember he said silent tape. We gonna show with our silent tape. The silent tape is the best man. This is the part that's in the silent tape that fits what we're doing then we'll play. The best man that fits what we're doing will play. That's what you got to read in between the lines. The best man that's doing what we want or doing what we're playing, doing what we scheme the best will play. And the scheme is sit Mendoza as long as we can. They told us this already. They already told us this. So I don't know why we're not seeing it. So they told us already that they want to sit him as long as possible. So there's only two more quarterbacks on the roster. You got AOC and you got you got the undrafted. You got AOC that's going to start the season. You got AOC and we got Kirk Cousins. This is just me, my logical thinking. I'm showing y'all how I got to I'm loving Kirk Cousins. So, and it's not because of my hate for Aiden O'Connell, because it goes back to if you can't stay on the field, I don't care what your skills are. I don't care. Why would I care how good you are if you can't stay on the field? When I know this guy can. And y'all can't start saying nothing about injuries because this guy got injured and came back and played. This guy got injured and haven't came back yet, played one game, so he's coming back. So all things is equal with the injury thing, whatever. So then it boils down to, can this guy play a full season? It took him 3 years to play a full season. This guy over here then played multiple full seasons in his career. So I'm going to go with the guy that I think that can, for one, withstand getting injured. This is before I even look at stats. That's why I say stats tell a story, but they don't tell the story. So before I even can get to the stats, you got to see, can this guy last? Because if I put him in there, right? What if I do pick him, and then he go in there and get injured, and I didn't see it coming, and didn't prepare this guy, or now I pissed off this guy that we brought in to start, just like it happened in Arizona, just like it happened in Atlanta. And then what happened in Atlanta? The GM got fired, the coach got fired, all because they was playing quarterback games. Playing quarterback games. And Penix, like I said, now Penix don't even have the starting job. He should be coming in the starter. But what? He can't because he got to compete against Tua now. So make it make sense. It's not that I love Kirk Cousins. I'm a fan of his game. I am. That's why at least I know who he was. It's just that once I started looking at, all right, let me see what the stats say, because I know what my eye test say about him. And then the stats say what they say. I'm like, oh, it makes sense. So a lot of people be like, well, I don't care about the 4,000 yards and all this and all that. And that was then and this is now. And okay, well, stop talking about Aiden O'Connell in his rookie season. That was the last time he was good. The NFL caught up with him. They know what he's going to do. They know what he does well. All these coaches do, including the ones that came in and brought in other quarterbacks over him. They know what he is. I know what he is. A lot of y'all don't know what he is. But it's fine, though, because if everybody play their role, everything can work out fine. The role is Kirk Cousins come in and start. You just hold it down as long as you can. And we're playing with house money because because you're playing with a chip on your shoulder from Atlanta. And if you come in and win games, because you did win 5 games last year in limited play, then we're playing with house money. So we win games, we're in a great position because now Mendoza we're not forced to put him out there like other teams that have to put their number one quarterback out there because they don't have a quarterback. Or if he doesn't play well, then at least we got Mendoza a little more time to learn, and we could just put AOC in. Because I don't think he can play a whole season, but he probably can play 10 games. Hopefully, knock on wood if you with me. Because he showed me he could play 10 games in his rookie season. Although, yeah, he showed me he could play 10 games. I think he went 2-5 the following year. So that's like 7 games. So I know he can play between 7 and 10 games. Last year he didn't play one game. Well, 3 quarters. Like, I gotta factor that stuff in. So, okay, I gotta drop Aiden off now. So now I gotta drop him off the list. Now the only quarterback left is Kirk Cousins, the person they brought in. Okay, why they bring him in? Because he know the system. Okay, that's a plus. Uh, he's familiar with the coach because he played with the coach before. Oh, that's pretty impressive. Okay, like that matters. They already have a relationship. You don't have to worry about the quarterback games. He already talked to him and let him know what the deal was because they brought him in before they even got Mendoza, and they had AOC on the roster, so they told him, this is what we want you to do. But if you can't do it, we're gonna go with Mendoza. So the best guy gonna win, which is you, because we know that you know all this stuff and he don't. That's why we bringing you in because we want you to kind of let some of it by osmosis trickle down. Not that you gotta go over here and teach him everything you know, because that's not gonna happen. So we want you to come in and be the starter. But if you don't look like yourself, just know we're gonna pivot off you though, bro. Because we got these concerns. You're 38, you got this injury. I mean, whoop-de-whoop, whatever their concerns are. And he's like, all right, cool, bet I'm with that. I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm Kirk Cousins, and this is the best situation for me anyway, because I'm in a situation I know this what the deal is. Okay, cool. All right, so Kirk Cousins is gonna be the quarterback. So now, as a nation, we gotta get behind the quarterback. No, what do we do? Well, he only gonna play 3 games, and he gonna get hurt. Man, the moment I say something like that, oh, we put Mendoza out there, get cracked by week 8, then it's over for the friend. We back playing quarterback games now because half the nation gonna be like, see, we told you shouldn't have put him out there. The other half gonna be like, he a bust. It's not a win-win situation. That's a lose-lose situation. So now next year he got to come in and play good, right? Now, I mean, extraordinarily good, like Joe Burrow good the second year. And if he don't do that and he's just gradually learning, then y'all ain't got time for that. Y'all do not have time for that because last year they told y'all it was a learning year or a culture building year, not to look at the record. This man said he win 10 games all the time. We gonna win a bunch of games. Y'all took that to mean 10 games and then lost y'all mind over that. And then didn't remember we were just trying to build culture. But not to say they was doing the best job building culture, but he could have built some part of the culture. We had to scrap the whole thing. And the Raider fans lost their mind. Now they got PTSD, don't know how to act because they like, well, we're gonna win 4 games because they scared now. Like what? Post traumatic Super Bowl deficiency. The ones that's been old enough for us when we got Super Bowl, we ain't panicking like that. Actually, we're the ones telling you that, hey, this is different. How long have I been on here, man? I feel like I've been on here long enough, bro. If Kirk Cousins stay healthy, bro, pop it. Yeah, for sure. I'd rather him take the lumps and learn on the job. I don't know why it's such a bad thing because in the NFL, ain't no take no lumps. It's like taking lumps is like, yeah, you lose, but you can learn a lesson in it. In the NFL, when it comes to franchise quarterbacks, we're talking about franchise quarterbacks. You can fracture them forever. Earlier, I used Pederson had Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has been struggling his whole career ever since that first injury in the first year, or was it the second year? It was the second year. Had a good year, got injured. They won the Super Bowl, but he didn't win it. Imagine how he feel. He did all this to get them there and then don't win the Super Bowl because he get injured. then eventually gets released or fired or cut or whatever, and now he's still trying to find a job right now. Right now, why would we want to do that to Kirk? Mendoza, risk doing that to him when we have a quarterback that's competent, that's probably even better than him at this stage right now. And Kirk Cousins even came out in the presser and said it. Look, if you talking about when it comes to the accolades and the youth and agility and and all that, yeah, he better than me in that. But when it comes to this timing and when it comes to this speed and then it comes to this knowledge of the game and when it comes to all the things that really matter, like they say, 80% of the game is mental. Why do you think they say that? The game is 80% mental. And you don't know what you don't know if you're Mendoza. And you don't even have the time to figure out what you don't know because you got to ingest what they're giving you. The water hose, drinking through the water hose. But y'all think he just going to super saiyan and just be like, I don't know, man. That's just me, though. I'm being a little dramatic, I guess. But all I'm saying is, like, it's too much to even expect that of him. So if he come into camp and he's not going to be able to show everything that he could that he learned, and even if he did, they're going to be like, okay, he on the right track. Like I said, it's like a souffle. Don't take it out too early. Just let it mature. Let it get right. Mm-hmm. Fernando special. He's the one, man, or he's not. So what is he special? Was Joe Burrow special? Everybody, all those quarterbacks I just named were special. Caleb Williams, he's special. A lot of people didn't think so after the first year, but now they think it after the second year. Kyler Murray, he was special then too, but now we don't think so much. Like, what is special? Special is 6 wins when the average is 3? Uh, he's special. He's special like Brock Bowers special. And even Brock Bowers, we got to be careful with him. Because the reality is, if you do certain things, you're going to get certain results. No matter who you are. You're not, no one's exempt. If you put yourself in certain risks, there's certain consequences that are inherent in those risks. And then when the consequent hit, you can't start crashing out, second guessing, Monday morning quarterbacking, using hindsight. When I'm telling you, you got to use foresight to avoid some of that. And as a quarterback, you do that. You do certain things to avoid certain things. But you got to read it before it happens, though. You can't read it while it's happening because you got to read it before it happens and then perform it before it even happened. And then by the time you complete what you're doing, not allow the other person to interfere or intercept what you're doing. Either he's special or he's not. He is special. I think he's special, but it takes more than special to win in the NFL. It takes the team to be special. It takes the organization. It takes everything to be special from the top down. You know what got to be special? The owner getting out the way. The TB12 is inputting things when he needs to and not when he don't. You know what else got to be special? Uh, Spy Hunter making the right acquisitions and making the right cuts and all that other stuff. You know what's got to be special? Our new defensive coordinator, our offensive coordinator, and all the people they got working under them. That's got to be special, along with the trainers and and so the people that go and get the food at lunchtime, and you know what else? Also the parking lot attendants. That's why they watch how you treat the people that can't do nothing for you, or you those small all that matters. Why? That's why you when you see the like Kobe's and the LeBrons and Steph Curry's and they walking into the arena, they talk they all them people they do that every day. You know, even like I said, the parking lot attendant, the dishwasher, the chef, even the fan base, all that got to line up. That's everybody got all them people got all that got to be special. That's the reason why I keep going in the way I am. Because once the season starts, I'm just talking football. Y'all crash out, y'all crash out. I'm gonna be like, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this disgruntled employee over here. Why look at him. He about to stop streaming because the Raiders lost 3 games in a row and start reverting back to, well, I knew they wasn't gonna be nothing. That's why my expectations was low. Like that tells me you're not a winner, bro. Winners don't think like that. That ain't how a winner. I'm tired of the way that the Raider Nation is. I'm tired of losing. We gotta do something. We just got then we can start saying that. That ain't how that work, bro. It's just dead, baby. There's no commitment to excellence. I don't want to hear that no more. It's cool to say it. Like what? Y'all not what happened? Maybe because y'all kind of won in this YouTube thing in life, maybe other areas in life, but I don't know. I'm not necessarily seeing it because those attitudes aren't conducive to winning. And all the high level consistent winners don't sound like that or talk like that or even recommend things even in that caliber. I don't know, but I've been on super weak teams and I won championships. So I ain't the best example, but I am a example. So I don't, and I draw my energy from people who's greater than me and done more than me. It's not that difficult. It's just the consistency and all that other stuff is what's difficult. People don't they like to do what they feel. They put their emotions before their mind. That's just human thing. That's a human nature thing though. Experience is everything. Kirk got that and he cannot choke. Yeah, he just can't choke. Yeah. He said, okay, buddy, good luck. We do have a great QB room. I do believe that. Yeah. So you think Fernando's special like Brock Bowers? How do you? Okay, I'm gonna look for that. I hope you're right. Because if he's as special as Brock Bowers, we're gonna go to the playoffs this year. If that's the case, this team will go as far as Kirk Cousins take us in that offense. Right. That O line. It's about that O line. All right, Furpo. It's about that O line. Yeah, man. I just want you to know a little bit. Had to do the show that I said I was gonna do. I'm gonna do a late night show tonight. I'm just gonna continue bringing up. I'm gonna bring up things, and either y'all gonna either they're gonna ignore it or they're gonna address it. Because my Friday shows, um, it's kind of like a call-in show. Me and the good writer do maybe call-ins, and then I'll do a late night show where people can call in or ask questions or whatever. I understand people kind of nervous about coming up, but y'all warm up to it eventually. So, hey, hope y'all day is great. 10-7, Willie Wayne. GT is gonna tear it up because we're gonna have a great running game. I'm a believer of that, and that's what's gonna make Kirk Cousins go crazy. He gonna actually have a running game like he had in Atlanta. See, Atlanta started winning once they started putting the quarterback under center where Kirk Cousins actually played best at. That's another thing. Mendoza got to learn that. Yeah, y'all know what it is, man.
I'm a raider from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.